Hey, Jonathan Applegate.
Mr. Paul Fanner, how are you?
Good. It's
Excuse my
great to see
voice.
you,
I'm
my
still
friend.
still trying to get over a little bit of a flu bug that hit me early in the week. So take it easy on me.
I will. I will. We'll have a pace lap or two before we got to
Ah,
leave.
good. Very good. Very good.
Well, I'm not surprised you got a little bit sick. You've been running yourself ragged with all these programs.
Ah, yeah.
You got a lot going on.
No rest for the weary. And as you know, our off season is a very short one. Most everyone's is in motorsports. But when we have the shootout smack dab in the middle of our off season, it's even that much shorter. So we just finished that up this past weekend, which was a huge success this year. And that's unfortunately exactly where I got the flu bug. Came home from that with a little bit of a under the weather, but really good event, and super excited about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that as we move through our time together today. And
Very good.
I first off want to just say how much I appreciate what Mazda does in the motorsport world. Mazda is I like to call it the front door to motorsports for so many of us. And they provide access. They make it possible for people who dream of racing or being involved in racing or in motorsports to do so. They're the ambassador brand for the culture of American racing. And I know that you put a lot of work into that and the things you do. And that the journey to working with Mazda Motorsport is something I want to talk about a little bit. I like to have our audience understand how you got here. What were you doing before you came here, and how did you evolve into the role you have now?
Yeah, I'd like to say I just popped right into it, right? But no, actually, a lot of groundwork. So my background is quite diverse. I came from a little agency in Zionsville, Indiana, called JMI. If anybody knows that name, it's Zach Brown, now the principal of McLaren for Formula One. He owned and founded that agency. I started there in 2008, and really, before that, absolutely, I'm from Indiana, so I'm an IndyCar fan, and always grew up watching IndyCar, and was from the outside in a fan. But really, at the agency level is where I fell in love with motorsports. It was from the vantage point of diving into accounts on the NASCAR and IndyCar side, and really learning the client, understanding their needs from a sponsorship and a marketing and a business perspective. And getting a feel for the business side of the sport that really
Yeah.
intrigued me. I think at the end of the day, though, like just understanding that the human side of the sport right away, the relationships, the connections, the authentic connections across one auto manufacturer to the other, one team from team, partner to partner, just how intricate in the community feel of motorsports is. It really was something that compelled me to be a part of motorsports, and made me feel like I was a part of something much bigger than myself even. So I think from those moments, like learning from guys like Zach Brown and John Flack and Michael Hartman and Ashley Huffman and Craig Huffman, all these individuals at the agency side that really sort of mentored me and groomed me to understand the sport in a different way, to understand sponsorship and business, really put me in a position to start to sort of look at motorsports in a different light, and really was motivated by that. So in 2013, I moved around a little bit, went from NASCAR accounts, managing some accounts in NASCAR and then in IndyCar. And then in 2013, there was a need on the Mazda side. Mazda came in, and an individual by the name of Mo Murray, who you know very well.
Yes.
He was already on the account at that time on the Garage Team Mazda side, and we recognized that there was a need in motorsport for them to be activating marketing and strategy within. So at that point is when I stepped in and I started managing on the account director side, just managing the account. And that's when I met all of the usual suspects. I met John Doonan and all of the team side, a lot of wonderful, brilliant folks from the marketing side that I worked with and design. And really at that point is where I became really acclimated to the Mazda brand and understanding who they are, what they stand for, from both a brand side and then also in motorsports, and clearly how much of a relevancy and how much of an impact they make in motorsports with their owners, their enthusiasts, and truly a massive army of a brand evangelists that they have. That's really where I fell in love, again, back to the human side, with just the relationships and the understanding of these individuals and how passionate they are about the brand and where they've come from and how loyal they are across so many years and so many generations of vehicles and watching our programs develop and evolve into what they were. So at that time, it was ALMS, and then we moved into the IMSA opportunity and the IMSA relationship. And that's when I got really close with John Doonan. I grew very close to John. He's a high mentor of mine, a brother from another mother, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
A guy that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And at that point in time, when I grow closer to the client at that time and grow closer to John, is when I saw an opportunity, and when John saw an opportunity to bring me onto the team. So in 2019, he hired me directly. I became a part of the true Mazda family, if you will, and on the operations and competition side of the business. So I kind of transitioned from the marketing to the operations, really eye-opening experience and understanding more from the sports side and the business side of how things are ran from the inside out. But truly an amazing opportunity at that time, because it was an exciting time moving into the DPI era, towards the tail end, but seeing a lot of success at that time. We had moved through some of our challenges, and with the speed source days and some of the Skyactiv diesel days, and then into where we were seeing some really good success, and really never stop challenging, as we coin it, was really what we were doing, challenging every weekend and putting it on the podium and competing with our some of the other auto manufacturers in the space. Was able to work on that a lot behind the scenes, and really saw a lot of experience on that side. And then was also given sort of the keys of the kingdom with the MX5 Cup at the time, when John said, "This is something I want you to oversee and understand how we can improve and elevate this particular area, seeing that it is truly a gem of our space, with how close the racing is and phenomenal the talent level is in that." So we really wanted to take that on and understand what I could do to improve that program and get it to whole new levels. So I took that on in 2019, and working with the team and with Mo and John and all the rest of the guys, we really the next few seasons was exciting. And Nelson Cosgrove comes in 2020. I get a short term with him, a short stint, if you will, with him. Phenomenal guy, another great, brilliant man. Great, I consider him a friend, and got a lot of resource and intel from him, and understanding just from a different side of the sport. He came from TRD. He had a lot of experience on NASCAR and other things, really gathering a lot of information from him. And then his departure really put us in an opportunity of a sort of a post DPI era, if you will, where we're now looking at opportunities, and just how you kicked it off was putting us in a position to really hone in on what we know to be true to ourselves, which is our grassroots programs, supporting our customer, coming alongside of our ambitious racers, finding opportunities for them to move into whatever is next for them in their journey in motorsport. And that's where I think our focus is for the time being, and where my particular focus is really honing in on the grassroots side and the MX5 Cup Series to take it to all new levels and continue to support our racers to as much as we possibly can.
Well, and I'm addicted to the MX5 Cup Series. I've got to say that's some of the most entertaining, exciting, and really it's disciplined too. You have all these cars and all these drivers fighting tooth and nail, but it's not a crash fest. It'll occasionally happen, but it's not like some series you see. There's some really amazing racers in this series. Some of them are very young.
Unbelievable talent. And I think that's something that individuals that haven't learned or seen MX5 up until the point of that, when they find it, they realize just how competitive and highly talented the field is. I think there is a science to that, if you will, as it relates to how we are uncovering talent and grooming talent coming in through our traditional grassroots pipeline and into the MX5 Cup Series. I think there is a tremendous amount of talent coming from the karting community and the karting side, where individuals, young men and women, are seeing opportunities, and their families are seeing opportunities in sports cars that they weren't necessarily looking at 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, where all of us know, no matter what badge you have on your chest, we all know the challenges with financial participation and entry and barriers to that into the sport. And I think the opportunity with sports car presents itself, particularly through Mazda and our programs and our parts and our opportunities and initiatives, that it gives these karting kids and their families an understanding of I'm spending this now, and the opportunity to get to open wheel is this, where I could have an automatic opportunity here for this level. This is a great opportunity for them and an incentive in and of itself to be a part of something bigger than just MX5 Cup. So
we had some proof of concept. We had some really amazing young people in this series. Do you want to talk about some of the superstar talent that's been percolating in MX5 Cup by name here?
Yeah, I mean, the first obvious name is Connor Zillage, right?
Yes.
I mean, speaking
Mr.
of
Excitement.
Mr. Excitement, Mr. Incredible, whatever you want to call him, and talk about a 40-year-old man living in a 15-year-old's body. That kid,
he is
so mature, composed, the way he carries himself. He's truly a generational driver, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would say that is he has the talent level to do whatever he wants to do in motorsports. Whatever he chooses, whatever path, he's going to be successful in it. Just had a lot of time with him at the shootout. He's one of our SMX judges, but 15 years old coming into the space and racing Spec Miata, having some Spec MX5 experience, but not a lot of MX5 Cup experience at all on a full season basis. Rookie coming in. And to win 5 of the last 6 races and to contend for a championship with some of the most fierce racing on the planet, it was truly unbelievable to watch. The guy, the lines that he was taking on the track, the moves, the passes, just the experience that he has, the level of skill set that he has at the age he is unbelievable to watch that. And then there's another 5 guys that are under the age of 19 that are in our series, and we've got Joey Atanasio, we've got several other guys on teams like Copeland and MMR that are just really opportunistic and grooming these karting kids and bringing them up into the series where it is starting to skew younger. We're seeing half the field now younger at the age of younger than 20 or younger versus 5 years ago, we were seeing a more mature, more masterclass sort of field. So it's trending that way, and we're really excited to see it.
Yeah, they have to beat the old guys who are really good, which is
exactly
kind of the way it is when you get to the top class. Well, really, again, that was an epic season, and I tuned in for just about every race here and watched them. It was like a religion for me. It reminded me why I love racing.
That's awesome. That's great.
Also, we've been involved with the SCCA as a publishing partner now for 38 years. And I can remember the early days of our conversations with Mazda about going, go race what was then a new car called the Miata. And you've become the dominant manufacturer at the grassroots level. You're the weapon of choice for people living their dreams. You want to tell me what it takes to support all of those programs across the spectrum of let's say, SCCA, NASA, anywhere else? Just give us a little insight.
Yeah, I think it's easy to take credit for that, and I really want to to see the amount of groundwork that's been done to get to this point with our group and how we have seen for the last 4 decades, really the grassroots side of our business evolve has been truly a work of many talented individuals and individuals that understand our customer and really have come alongside our customer to listen to their needs and find opportunities that weren't maybe necessarily there in the moment, and continue to evolve and find the next level, the next class, the next program, the next part to meet the needs of our customers. And I think that's really at its origin is why we've been able to support and continue to be able to support as we do at the level we do. It starts with our product. The Mazda vehicle made, starting 4 decades ago, let's just give it proof of concept. It's, the rotary culture that was sparked by our 91 Le Mans championship and your 91 Le Mans win, and the rotary sort of, it's chaos. It's crazy the amount of excitement that's around still today.
It's like a rotary religion.
It really is, and I think that from that moment on, sparking that interest to participate on a grassroots level, whether that's at your local racetrack on a track day, or actually competing, on a road course for road racing. That started it, and it really became us with our product, understanding how we provide the parts, the service at the racetrack, the customer support in as far as communication and relationship, and moving then into the Miata in 1989, when that broke, another cultural phenomenon where individuals saw a wonderful race-ready car at a very good price that gave them an opportunity to get out on a racetrack and compete. And now, as we see it even today, with Spec Miata being as successful and is still massively participated as it is, we've been able to sort of sustain with our product, the quality of product, and the parts that we provide. I mean, Scott Kaluza on my team, major props to Scott. He's a 20 plus year guy on the Mazda competition parts and motorsports team. He is one of those guys that you gotta have him around. He's just extremely valuable and understands exactly how we need to provide or support our customers. But the amount of support is truly starts at the product side, but it really then goes into our parts and our parts opportunities, our Mazda team support program that individuals are able to sign up with an account, and they get incentives on parts, to get price discounts. We're constantly looking at that and trying to find opportunity for entry and savings, really, for our customer to have opportunity to participate and continue to have that sustainability over the course of the season. Aside from the parts, though, it really comes down to us looking at the needs of our customer and really putting our money where our mouth is, so to speak, and providing funding to our racers. That's something that you don't have to be a mathematician to really start doing the math here, and looking at the amount of years that we've been in the space from Grassroots for 40 plus years, and the amount of funding and scholarship and awards and contingency that we've given out across multiple classes and multiple programs across SECA, NASA, Historics, SRO, and even in professional with the MX5 Cup Series. And you start to do the math here, and it's just truly amazing to see that Mazda believes in motorsports and in their customer that much, to see the passion that it brings to the industry, and us, for me to be in this position is just truly I'm grateful and honored, honestly, just to see the scope and the magnitude of what we've been able to do across the last several decades.
Well, I don't know when you have time to rest with all these programs. No wonder you're sick. I think I'm catching your cold.
I'll tell you what.
The thing I think that really also we talked briefly before we run out of time here, talk about the shootout. This is a really special thing that you do, and you were wounded in action down there with this shootout. But tell me about that program.
The shootout is Mo and I like to call our hidden gem. Really, it's something that we need to really take an opportunity to look at on how we tell the story to our broader audience, because it's really a situation of we're at the crossroads of where ambition meets opportunity.
Yeah.
And the shootout is right in that intersection where we're coming alongside these ambitious young drivers from karting, from Spec Miata, from Spec MX5 Challenge, and giving these kids the opportunity to chase their dreams and move on into a professional setting and professional seat with Mazda. It's been 15 years in the making. This year was the 15th year that we've done it. And essentially the event itself is a 2-day sort of competition that allows individuals time on the track. Off the track, they're doing media interviews. They're talking to judges. We have a panel of judges that really assess and determine exactly who rises to the top, cream of the crop, and deserves the scholarships. But even before that competition, there's a set of criteria, both from the competition side as they're competing through Spec Miata or Spec MX5 Challenge, where they're an automatic bid, and they're also submitting their body of work from a business and a partnership perspective, what they're doing, providing the groundwork to open up opportunities from sponsors. It's all about, for us, yes, scholarship and giving them that scholarship to race that next season. But we're really trying to identify a fully scoped 360 individual that's seeing the space as they're all in. This is not something that I'm just rolling the dice on and maybe 1 year out, 1 year in. This is an opportunity for me to relish in the fact that I'm a professional race car driver, but I have put the groundwork in to put a business proposal together, to have the sponsors, to understand who I am as a race car driver, and that it is a business. I need to understand that it takes so much work to continue to sustainability in motorsports from a driver's perspective. Again, we know the challenges on that side as well. So the shootout is something that really is special to us, and we were able to grant 5 scholarships to 5 willing and able and fully talented individuals, both on the Spec MX5 side and MX5 Cup. We gave our championship scholarship was to Nate Cicero.
Yeah.
Nate Cicero is a young man that has moved through our Spec MX5. Last year, he won the Spec MX5 championship scholarship, worked through the season in Spec MX5, came back as an automatic bid and won the championship with us, did a phenomenal job at the shootout. But really, again, it's just over the full body of work over the course of a season is what allowed us to see that he was truly the champion from this year. Runner up was Thomas Annunziata. He actually raced with us one time in MX5 Cup at VIR and was right in the front competing on his very first time in an MX5 Cup car. The guy has very nasty pace. I mean, he is going to be a contender immediately. From New Jersey area, New York area, very confident in himself, and that's great. Has a lot of swag, and we saw him really evolve over the course of the 2 days at the shootout from top 5, middle of the pack, to fastest on track in the last session at the shootout. So that really allowed us to see him as a talent up and coming with our runner up. And then last but definitely not least is Heather Hadley. We have a women's initiative scholarship that we rolled out 2 seasons ago now. This is our 3rd season that we've done this. And it's really an opportunity from a baseline to start with recognizing female drivers and giving that scholarship for them to race with us in MX5 Cup. But we, over the next few years, we want to examine this to understand it's all about recognizing women in the sport and understanding that there needs to be more recognition for the talent and that already exists in the sport, but bringing opportunity to bring more women in. And I think it starts with the driver, but we really want to try to see how we can expand that beyond just driver, but team manager, race support, engineer, etc. So more to come there. But the special thing about Heather Hadley, she comes from Legends, has never been in an MX5 Cup car. She started day 1 on the first session, the first car out in the wet on wet tires, and just with pure confidence went out there from the first session to the last, and astonished, really surprised everyone at her pace. Her attitude outside of the car, phenomenal, sweet girl, and has a very good business acumen and understanding of what it's going to take for her on a full season basis. But we are excited to see her in MX5 Cup. We think that she can absolutely contend in the top 10 and run for a podium, if not a win. So we're excited just with all 3. And then we were able to hand out scholarships as well on the SMX side. So it's been truly phenomenal for us to continue to be able to do this. And thank you to Mazda and the marketing group to be able to continue to support it.
Well, again, what Mazda's a force for good in this sport, and it's a company with a human touch. The things you just described with such passion as a window, I think, into the heart and soul of the team at Mazda. They care about the people that race their cars, and your programs are proof of that across the full spectrum of what you do. And we also appreciate that when a little publishing company came to the agency and team at Mazda, proposed the idea of a magazine called Racer, they were the people that said yes, and were our very first advertiser. For that, we're forever grateful. And thank you for being with us today, Jonathan. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and your passion for what you do is infectious.
Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate the time. Looking forward to the next time.
Yes,
It was
thank
nice
very
having
much.
you, Jonathan. I'm telling you, good people came from Just Marketing. Michael Hartman taught me a lot in this industry. I'm very grateful to him.
Very good. I love Michael. He's a good guy.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee. and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to EPARTRADE.